Hello everyone. This week's Parsha is Parshat behaalotecha. Parshat behaalotecha has several fascinating topics. I'd like to talk about one topic that's a topic of the Slav. Now, in order to bring about the Slav, Moshe is instructed to gather 70 wise men who will then have prophecy together with him, and then the Slav will come. And the question is, exactly what is the function of these 70 wise men? Why are they part of the process of bringing the Slav? I think that the answer is that sometimes people desire something very much, but it's not something that's good for them. And if someone is smart enough and wise enough to appreciate the fact that somebody wants something that's not good for him, and that in fact the reason he wants it has nothing to do with his actual needs, then it's very difficult for that person to give in and give the person what he wants. And it might even be, from his point of view, something wrong to do. However, people need a certain measure of leniency. And sometimes they need the option of someone who can appreciate that leniency and give them what they're asking for, even though it's not necessarily in their best interest. Much like sometimes parents will give a child a candy because a child wants a candy very much, even though possibly candy is not necessarily in the best interest of the child. But the child has to appreciate and enjoy this leniency every once in a while. We can't give in to our children's requests at every interval, but there is an importance of giving in every once in a while. It's part of our love for our children. It's expressing our desire for them to feel good. It helps them to feel loved. I think that that's what's happening here with the Slav. Basically, the Jews are getting sufficient sustenance from the man. They don't really require the meat. And Moshe realizes that, and he realizes the request for meat has nothing directly to do with actual need for sustenance. So the request is somewhat inappropriate. And as soon as he perceives that, then he says, well, in that case, why should we cooperate with this request? But God sees things otherwise. He realizes that it's necessary for people to be able to fudge the picture a little bit and not look at things with such a clear sight, and every once in a while give in. So he says, okay, you, Moshe, see things too clearly. We need 70 wise men who are not as wise as you and aren't as perceptive as you are. And they'll help lead. And through them, I can give Slav. Through them, I can give Am Yisrael what they're asking for, even though it might not necessarily be exactly in their best interest. But the person's request has to be taken into account as well. Now, it would be interesting to point out that the limitation that has to be inherent in these extra 70 people is that they have to realize their own limitations. They have to realize in their humility that they're not at the same level as the person who perceives things far more accurately. And so not everything that they desire or think is appropriate is necessarily so. And this is vital to the status of a person whose job is to give things to the public, give things to other people. He has to understand that not everything he perceives as advantageous or good indeed is so. And that's what happens later on in the Parsha. First of all, we have Eldad Umeidad. You see, originally Moshe had to collect 70 sages, but there's 12 tribes, and he wanted an equal amount from each tribe. So he actually invited 6 from each tribe, and he intended to make a lottery to rule out 2 people who would not be participating among the 70. But there were 2 who decided in their humility that they were not fit to be among the 70, and so they never came. So Moshe never had to do his lottery. These 2 people enjoyed Nevuah, prophecy, even without attending the conclave of the 70, because of their humility, thanks to their humility. As soon as they appreciated the vital key point of humility, then they were certainly worthy of being among the 70 sages and worthy of receiving prophecy. Similarly, later in the Parsha, we have Aaron and Miriam, who initially failed to perceive that there's a significant difference between the level of prophecy that they are receiving and the prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu. And Hashem has to make a point of explaining to them that difference. Again, emphasizing the point that a person who doesn't see things clearly, even though he's vital to the system and has vital importance in being able to give things to people that they might not otherwise be able to receive, things that they want or perceive that they want, he has to understand that he's not at the top. And that is emphasized in the ending of the Parsha with Aaron and Miriam. So may we all be wise enough to ask for what we really need. We all receive in our best interest those things that we perceive we need. And may we all enjoy wonderful Shabbat Shalom. Bye bye.